In today's episode of Charleston Women Podcast, we're here with Sarah Moriarty, Executive Director of Charleston Literary Festival.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
Hey there, I'm Kim Russo, the host of Charleston Women Podcast, and today I am joined by Sarah Moriarty, Executive Director of the Charleston Literary Festival. And you can see the featured article in the fall issue of Charleston Women's Magazine to read about the Charleston Literary Festival, but we're here to kind of talk about it and get people hyped up because it's coming soon in November. So Sarah, welcome to Charleston Women Podcast. Tell us about the backstory because it's really kind of cool. It's in the article, but mentioned how it started in Charleston, UK, and now here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hi, Kim. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm so excited. And yeah, it's a really busy time for us now, obviously, because we're in the run-up to November 7th, which is when everything kicks off at Dock Street Theatre. And it'll last for 10 days, 10 whole days, from November 7th through 16, 10 days of programming, all at Dock Street Theatre, apart from one or two satellite events. So yeah, we're super duper excited and on that runway to the festival right now. Yeah, so Charleston Literary Festival, it has a very interesting sort of provenance. It came to be thanks to two women who brought it over from the UK, Deb O'Gage and Diana Reich. Back in 1980, Deb O'Gage discovered Charleston House, which is a farmhouse in Sussex in the UK, where the Bloomsbury Group of sort of writers, thinkers, painters used to gather together and where they lived. And sort of Virginia Woolf lived down the road. She used to come over on her bicycle and hang out. And Vanessa Bell was there, Duncan Grant, the painter, and T.S. Eliot would come over for dinner. And it was a wonderful sort of mix of writers and thinkers in this house. And the extraordinary thing about what they did to Charleston House in Sussex is that they painted the inside of the house. Every single room, the walls, the cornices, the sideboards, everything was sort of beautifully painted by these artists. And so Deb O'Gage, who's an art dealer, happened upon the house and said this should be conserved. And so she preserved it and created Charleston Trust, which preserved the house into the future, into posterity. And then once they had it sort of preserved as a place where people could visit, Deb O'Gage and a woman called Diana Reich set about founding a literary festival in Sussex in the UK, in the Charleston House, called the Charleston Festival. Then in 2017, Debo thought it would be fun to do a Charleston, Sussex, UK to Charleston, South Carolina, because she had some connections here in South Carolina. And so she brought a kind of a mini version of the festival over to Charleston, South Carolina in 2017 with Diana Reich as the literary programmer in collaboration with, at that time, the Library Society and with our co-founder, Walter Federowicz. And then the rest, as they say, is history. This year's our 9th festival. And we've gone from that first sort of couple of 2 days, 8 events, to this year, 10 days, 100 plus authors, 50 plus events. So we've seen really fabulous growth. And that's kind of, the genesis of Charleston Literary Festival.
Yeah, which is so cool. I didn't know that there was a Charleston, UK. That's a cool, fun fact that brings the Literary Festival to Charleston.
It's Charleston House. The name of the house was Charleston House, and they don't know why. So there's been a lot of research into why. It's in a small town called Lewis, and you can get a train from London. That's not too far. It's like 40 minutes on the train. It's still a mystery as to why Charleston House in Lewis in the UK was called Charleston.
Well, you said there was paintings on everything. What was the theme and the style of the painting? Is that maybe something that had to do with it?
I guess it was quite modernist, but essentially it was just to brighten up and liven up the house. And so they paint wallpaper on the walls instead of hanging wallpaper. They're really fabulous. I mean, if anyone is in the UK and in London, it's worth getting the train to Lewis to just see this sort of extravagantly sort of bright paintings all over this house. It really is kind of extraordinary.
So 10 days. So tell me about, you kind of went fastly through what's going on during those 10 days, but what exactly can people look forward to go see and do, and how do they get to participate and go to the festival?
There are lots of ways to take part in Charleston Literary Festival. We have 50 events at Dock Street Theatre. You can simply buy individual tickets for events. So all of the events have individual tickets available. You can simply buy a ticket on the website and show up at the event depending on what you're interested in. There are other ways to participate. So we have all access passes that you can come to everything. And they're called the Festival Insider Pass. And we also have like an insider party, pre-party in the run up to the festival on October 30th for all the insiders and the team to kind of mix and mingle together. We also have weekend experiences. So we attract a lot of people to Charleston for the festival. Well, Charleston's obviously just such a fabulous city, and it's a very wonderful place to have a literary festival because of its deep historical significance and the atmosphere in Charleston. This idea of being surrounded by history, it's a very evocative place. And so when you're in Charleston, having an opportunity to meet all different kinds of writers from all over the world and all over the country to sort of convene in this one space for a short period of time, it's very powerful. You have that sense of history and also the sense of like imagining the future together, which is very exciting. So people come for the weekends, essentially. So you can come and have a weekend package, and the weekend package is access to all of the literary festival events, but also it's also Charleston interwoven. So we do sort of restaurant reservations for you. We offer you a literary walking tour of the city. We offer a garden tour of the city. We offer a tour of the International African American Museum, our partner, as well as all the literary events. So it's sort of a weekend experience for a visitor who can experience literary Charleston, but also like all the goodies that Charleston has to offer. We have obviously donor levels as well, where people donate to the festival, and then we create customized kind of experiences for donors and supporters of the festival.
And then I know you guys use a lot of volunteers to help with the festival. Do you still take volunteers last minute? Is there any opportunity for people that are listening that maybe could get involved last minute to help out?
That's such a good question. Yeah, so right now on our website, if you go to charlestonliteraryfestival.com, and we have in our dropdown a dropdown called Our Community. And if you click on that and click volunteer with us, you can fill out the volunteer form and sign up to volunteer. And so we look for volunteers for festival sessions, for our literary lounge, for the parties that we throw, for absolutely in everything, up and down, in and out throughout the 10 days. So yeah, we really rely on our community and our amazing volunteers for the 10 days. And we're always looking for new people.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Can you tell me some of the more specific, exciting events that are going on? I know there'll be a panel. What authors can you kind of sneak and share with the audience that's going to be there? Get some excitement going.
The very first day is pretty extraordinary. We're kicking off with Jenna Bush Hager is coming to talk about her new publishing imprint called 1,000 Voices, which is all about sort of democratizing access to different kinds of writing and literature. Her very first book that she's chosen to sort of take in under 1,000 Voices is a book called Conform by Ariel Sullivan, which is kind of like a romantic-y sort of book. Sarah J. Maas said that it had her up reading all night. And so that's going to be a really fun, big, energetic beginning to the festival. So Jenna Bush Hager will be in conversation with Ariel Sullivan. That'll kick off our festival on November 7th in the morning. Later that day, we have Imani Perry coming to talk about her new book, Black and Blues. And then that evening at 5 p.m., we have Kevin Sack, who's a Charleston-based journalist who's written a book on the 200-year history of Mother Emanuel, the AME Church, the 200-year history of the church. And he'll be in conversation with Eddie Esclaw Jr., who's professor of African American Studies at Princeton University and also an incredibly important public intellectual. And so the two of them will be in conversation at the Mother Emanuel Church. So that's one of the programs that we actually are not doing at Dock Street. We're doing it at Mother Emanuel itself. So the conversation will talk about the 200-year history of the church, and it will be followed by a choral program sung by the Mother Emanuel Choir that reflects also the 200-year history of the church. So that one's going to be really extraordinary. And then the site specificity of it will make it really powerful. And it's also a very important community event. And actually, just a note, a community event that will be free to attend. Then into Saturday, we're celebrating a lot of anniversaries this year. So Mrs. Dalloway, it's Virginia Woolf's famous novella. It's the 100th year of its publication. So we have Michael Cunningham, who wrote The Hours, coming to talk with Jenny Offal about the importance of Mrs. Dalloway. And we're going to show the movie The Hours in the mornings. You can watch the film. And then you can listen to Michael Cunningham and Jenny Offal talk about Mrs. Dalloway and why her day still matters or still resonates, I suppose, with people. And then, so Saturday is kind of our day of anniversaries, because then we also have Jane Austen's bookshelf with Rebecca Romney, who's a rare book specialist. And she's written a book called Jane Austen's Bookshelf, which celebrates the 250th anniversary of Jane Austen's birth. And actually, on the Friday night, we're having a special party. We're throwing Jane Austen a birthday party, effectively. So she's 250, but she doesn't look a day over 240. And we're throwing her a birthday party. It's going to be really fun. There's going to be a huge cake. It's taking place at a house downtown on Legree that's also 250 years old. And we're going to have 10 Mr. Darcy's in attendance. So that's going to be fun.
Very cool. So do you have to buy a ticket to join that event, or is it included in your ticket?
So that's one of our sponsor parties, essentially. So that's if you're at the sponsor level, then you can join our private parties that we have in houses downtown in Charleston.
Okay. So you're still taking sponsorships?
Still, always.
You mentioned reading a book all night and staying up all night. How do people get prepared too with these books? I know I saw something about book club. Is that something that you're encouraging people to do, and how do they get involved in the book club?
That's such a good question. So, because obviously we're always trying to how do we fit all these books into our lives? How do we do this? And a lot of it is the best thing to do is read together. And there are lots of opportunities and lots of amazing organizations in town that are helping us, but they're also jumping on board to kind of encourage people to read. So Philosophers and Fools is an amazing book and wine store that's on Bogard Street. And so, it's exactly what it says on the tin, book and wine store. So they sell books and they have wine. It's really, really nice. It's a pretty winning combination. So they have lots of fun events and they have their own book club. But for the next 4 Mondays, so tonight and then the next 4 Mondays running up to the festival, they're doing book clubs around 4 specific books from the Literary Festival lineup. So that's really fun. So you can find more information about that on their website, philosophersandfools.com. Okay. So that's really fun. So if you want to read 4 books before the festival and you want to do it in community, it's great to sort of check out Philosophers and Fools. Another good tip is we work very closely with the Charleston County Public Library, and we partner with them and the Libby app. So if you have a library card, you can download the Libby app and use your library card to log into Libby. And all of the books for the Literary Festival are available, oftentimes both in text and in audio, on the Libby app for free via the Charleston County Public Library. If you go to the Libby app homepage, they've made a little collection of books, which is all the books from the festival. If you're doing the dishes or you're folding the laundry or if you're going for your walk, whatever you're doing, you can listen as well. Audiobooks
That's a good way to get them in.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff on audio, especially nonfiction. I do a lot of nonfiction on audio, and I love the Libby app for that.
Yeah, I love a good audiobook. It's so much easier to be able to work out and multitask. Who doesn't love a good book club and then kind of get excited and go to the Literary Festival? One other question I have is, how did you get involved? You seem so knowledgeable in everything. I know you're the executive director, but how long have you been participating in the Charleston Literary Festival? And it's almost 10 years. And then to follow up with that, what is going to happen for your 10th year? I
got involved thanks to Diana Wright. Heard that I was sort of moving to Charleston. I moved to Charleston in October 2021, and she reached out to me. And then I started a relationship with Diana specifically, and then attended the festival, which was so fun. One of the first things I did when I moved to Charleston was go to Charleston Literary Festival, and it was right coming out of the pandemic. And so it was almost this huge sigh of relief of being wow, we're back together again almost, and that was a really special experience. And then the festival itself was so atmospheric and so intimate and so cool. It sort of blew me away. I was wow, this is such an amazing gem that Charleston has. At that time I was pregnant, so with my daughter, and I helped out a little bit doing strategic planning and marketing. And then they opened up a position for an executive director in February 2023. And I threw my hat in the ring and became executive director in 23. So the beginning of 23, and have been doing it ever since. So 23, 24, and this will be my third festival. So I've done 2 and this will be my third festival.
You have a branding background. So that's what I do. On Brand Designs is my company. So we specialize in branding. And so when I saw that you do branding too as well, how do you bring that skill into your role right now?
Because branding is really just all about emotion, and it's all about like, how do you translate what we're feeling? And, how do we translate the sort of this cohesive sort of thing that we're building? How do we translate that into something that people can feel? And how do we reflect like all the things that people feel back to them and back to us? And I really enjoy thinking about brand. One of the first things we did was sort of elevate the brand that we had. The Literary Festival had quite a strong brand when I joined, but we worked with a really great designer here in Charleston called Blake Suarez to just not transform or rebrand, but just elevate slightly the brand that we had. So we sharpened like the icon, the color palette, like all of the visual language and also the application of that language. So we got a new website based on this new sort of visual, sharpened sort of visual look and feel. That's been really exciting just from a brand perspective. And then the next thing is just then brand experiences and brand activations. So if you think about an in-person event over 10 days, event after event after event, what do we want people to feel like when they're at the Literary Festival? How do we want them to feel like when they're leaving the Literary Festival? And, so they're like brand driven questions that we think about all the time. So, we think about that in relation to the parties that we throw, in relation to the program, to the events that we program, in relation to the color washes on the stage. It's all of the elements of the performance and the production. My brand experience formerly was all in tech. All the brand stuff I did was digital, global, tech-based, not in person. And so this sort of being very much like having something in person, tangible, experiential is a really nice new challenge. So I bring a lot of past sort of learning with me, but then it's a new sort of challenge with the Literary Festival.
Yeah, it's kind of combining the worlds of how it started with the artistic side and the literary side too.
Yeah, definitely.
So celebrating 10 years next year. So if somebody's listening to this in a few months, what is going to be exciting for that to celebrate the 10 years in Charleston, South Carolina?
We have a lot of fun things in the mix for 2026. Obviously, it's a big year for us because it's that 10 festival anniversary. We're going to have some top secret things in the works. We're already working on our program for 2026. We're working on the lineup for 2026, and we're working on some extra special top secret projects for 2026.
I love that.
Yeah, and I will say just that this year, like our VIP weekends sold out really quickly. Also, our insider passes sold out really quickly. So I would say to people, just move quick, because I think people are going to be excited for the 10th anniversary. More coming soon on specifics, but we're going to have a really extraordinary 10-year marker.
And is it always 10 days? Would it be 10 days next year too as well?
We're very long. We're 10 days. And so that's mirrored from the festival in the UK. They're also 10 days. It actually makes a lot of sense for us because over the 10 days, we have 2 weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And those 2 weekends are great because people can, choose to come from afar, essentially. As like last year, 27% of our tickets were sold outside South Carolina. This year, we're hoping it's going to be about a third. So we wanted like a third, 2/3 for outside South Carolina. So those 2 weekends are really important for like the whole festival to kind of hang together. Book clubs come all through the 10 days. So the VIP weekends are for one visitor, but there are also book clubs that will come and stay for the whole week, and also students. So we do a lot of work in the community with students and student field trips. And so those weekday sessions are really important for the student field trips that we bring in to the festival as well. But now I'm thinking 10 years, 10 days. There's something there in a message somehow.
Well, that's great too that schools can get involved in getting adolescents involved at early ages. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much. Is there anything else that people need to know? We'll definitely have the website up so people can find it to get their tickets and get involved at the Charleston Literary Festival.
Come and see us. Come out and see us. We'd love to welcome you all. And the festival is also all about discovery and exploration. And we've got some really good partnerships this year. We're partnering with the International African American Museum on a session with Ruha Benjamin and Benny Starr, which is all about imagination. That's going to be wonderful. We're also partnering with the 92nd Street Y in New York on a session with Elliot Ackerman and Roxana Robinson on honor. How do you build a contemporary code of honor? And what does it mean for us to have a code of honor? And that's going to be a really fascinating panel. And then another collaboration that's really exciting is with the Villa Albertine, also based out of New York, which is an initiative from the French Embassy that promotes French culture. We're partnering with them to bring Lola Lafon, who's a French novelist who's written a book. She spent a night in Anne Frank's Annex. It's going to be really fantastic. And again, Lola Lafon, she's a French novelist, but she's writing, the book is in translation, and we're actually going to launch the translation of the book at the festival this year. And so that's going to be kind of really extraordinary. So I would definitely plug that one. And then finally, we have a lot of fun at the Literary Festival. We're also, we always go for resonance and kind of a little bit of razzle dazzle. So Patricia Altschul, Miss Pat.
Yes.
She's launching her memoir, Eat, Drink and Remarry, and she'll be launching her book at the Literary Festival as well. And she'll be in conversation with the creator of Desperate Housewives, Mark Cherry. So that one's going to be a lot of fun too. So there really is kind of like something for everyone.
Yeah. Something for everybody. Are there any author signings or things like that? Because if she's launching her book, I know that would probably bring a lot of Charlestonians into to get some Patricia signings and things like that.
Most of the book events have signings at the end, with some exceptions. And Miss Pat will not be signing at the end of her book session. I think it's because 500 people might be a bit overwhelming. Yeah. But we do have special VIP meet and greet tickets available. If you really want to meet Miss Pat, you can have the VIP meet and greet ticket and get your book signed and have that one-on-one experience with her.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. This is awesome. I hope everybody has the best time at the Charleston Literary Festival.
We hope to see you there, Kim.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.